So welcome to another edition of Say It in 4. I'm the host, TerrenceEdwards. We got Chanel, we got Britt, we got Daniel, and Charnetta. What's up, guys?
Hey. What's going on, everybody?
All right. So your girl, Issa Rae, what's going on with her? There's a lot happening in the news right now, right? She recently did a photo shoot for Vanity Fair. And a burner account, _Paradise Paris, said that she's unattractive and she don't care. So Issa Rae decided to clap back. What's your thoughts about that?
She did right by clapping back. She did right.
Right, as she should.
You're not about to do me.
Yeah.
I mean, but why the girl look kind of like Issa Rae? Like, I just
look a lot like Issa Rae.
A lot like Issa Rae. I mean, you got the last nerve to be trying to talk about somebody's unattractive. Like, you got some nerve.
So and beautiful. She's beautiful.
She's beautiful. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, what the girl said was that, hey, look, I don't need a job from her. I'm not her friend. I don't really care. She's unattractive. I mean, what do you guys feel like she's unattractive, or do you feel like she is a beautiful person in Hollywood? And why do you think that the girl felt the need to even say that? Netta?
I know. That's weird. That's what I would, honestly, I wouldn't even respond to if I was Issa. I would have just, but yeah, I think that she is beautiful. She's got, her skin is beautiful, her smile, everything about her, like, she has like this glow about her. So, yeah,
but I mean, I think it's okay to have a preference, right? We talk about that all the time on the show. And if people don't find somebody to be attractive, or they're unattractive, it's okay to say that, right?
Yeah, that is. But I mean, I think it was a good point that Issa pointed out. I mean, if in fact that picture that she posted was the person that said that comment, she looks like Issa.
Looks just like her.
So
what's the point?
She's unattractive. On what basis are you saying that you're unattractive? Because y'all favorite
pretty much
a lot. So it was just like, I'm not truly understanding. And then it's like, even if Issa is not, maybe Hollywood standard of beauty like that, Kim Kardashian, light skin, long hair. For me, Issa got a round the way girl beauty. Like that beauty, if you saw her walking down the street, you'd be like, wow, that's a pretty girl. Like, that's a really pretty girl. So for me, I feel like she has that. She may not have that, like you said, that model-esque, that Kim Kardashian look, but that to me is just, that's a good change for Hollywood, right? We need some of those everyday beautiful girls that just natural.
Right. But the thing is, she's natural. She's natural. I would like that girl that made the comment about Issa Rae. I would like you to have a natural challenge, because you done had a lace wig in your photo. So let's see what you look with your fro. I don't even know if you got hair under there, but let's just see what you look like. And you take a natural photo and you see what's up. Now everybody's entitled to their opinion. So like I said, you
said Issa Rae is natural.
Issa Rae is more a woman that embraces her natural beauty. She's really big on, embracing the skin that you're in. She doesn't have an issue rocking her natural hair. She don't, not to say that she doesn't have a weave or some days, but she normally rocks her natural hair. She's just a natural woman. She represents for all of us. All that I'm saying is, if you're gonna make the efforts to make comments, and everybody's entitled to an opinion, like, expect that same backlash in return. So I don't feel bad that Issa Rae clapped back, even though she could have took the high road and just ignored her, because who is she really to her? They don't know each other, and who cares?
They started going viral, so that's the only reason why she really clapped back, because I'm sure she's not the first girl to call her ugly on social media. But I mean, Issa Rae is good for me. I'd redo some of them scenes with her and Lawrence and Insecure, so they can swap me out. Issa Rae, you need a new double. You can call me. I'll show
okay, I see you.
Shoot my shot on Say It in 4, but I'm just saying. I don't feel like I feel like old girl was just doing it for trying to get some clout,
like attention.
For attention, because it's like we all, like T said, we got our preferences. If I don't think you're attractive, then cool, that's my preference. But to say it the way she did was like, and I don't care, because I ain't got to work for her and I don't know her. So it's like, what was all that for?
Yeah,
right.
Now, I wonder if it's like a complexion type of thing. So if Issa was like brown skin or light skin, would this even be a thing right now, or a conversation?
That's an ongoing issue. I feel like it's always underlining, even if that's not on the surface, but I feel like there's always a little bit underlying the colorism. We deal with that in the Black community a lot. And I'm sure it's dealt with in Hollywood. I'm sure it's no different. It's probably on even a grander scale. So
so you mentioned that, B, that we deal with that, you know, whether it's in Hollywood or like even within our own families. How can we overcome that?
That's a good question. How do you overcome that? Because that has been an issue for a long time. And I feel like the biggest thing is realize that we are all Black. Like, why are we
exactly
each other? It don't matter. We are all Black. Trust me. To the other man, we all Black. It don't matter what color of Black you are.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You Black. And so I feel like we need to realize that we all are part of each other, and then realize that we're kind of fighting and we're giving energy into what the enemy, what they want, right? They want that division as much as possible. That division came way back from slavery. That division goes way far back, and it's psychological. And so constantly feeding into that, you're feeding into that whole white supremacy, you're feeding into that whole agenda. And so just realize that when you do have those colorism issues, that you're digging into something deeper than just on the surface, you're pretty, you're not pretty. Like, you're really going into something psychological. And do you love you? Right. Do you love you? Because I promise you, I don't care what color you are. If you're pretty, you're pretty. If you're not, you're not. I don't care. And I love you regardless. But it's a psychological thing.
But B, aren't you like attracted to like darker skinned guys opposed to like, right? Right. So somebody who's like white or like light skinned, do you find them to be attractive or chase after them? No, you don't.
Because you did all this talking to Raven and all that. And
right, like, exactly.
But you know what? I would never sit there and be like, say, old boy came, light skin, my complexion came, and he's treating me well. He's doing all of this, and he's showing to be that man. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, yo, you check off everything, but you light skin, so I'm gonna move the other way. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Now, would I pick you out of a crowd without, if you were a pool of chocolate men, am I about to pick you out? No, I'm not. So I feel like that's the difference between preference and then you're just kind of, it's a little deeper than that. You know what I mean? I don't really know the word for it.
I feel you. But like, if you're going to overcome that, I think what we got to start doing is, if we hear comments from other people talking about, oh, she's cute for a dark skinned girl, as Black women and Black men, we got to correct that. Like, no. What do you mean she's pretty for a dark skin? No, she's beautiful. She's just Black. So I think we could start changing that mentality by correcting it. I think that's the first thing is knowing that we're so used to doing it that sometimes we don't realize it. Because I know me being light skinned, people always think I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. You don't know how many times I go to the Bronx and like, meet. I'm like, I'm not stop thinking I'm Spanish. But I embrace my Blackness. But people don't think that I'm Black. It's always like, oh, you look more white, you look more Spanish. And I'm like, no, I am Black. And I think all Black is beautiful. I don't think because I'm light skinned, I feel like I look better than anybody else. But I always hear that a lot of people prefer, and not just from people that I'm around, they say they always prefer the light skinned women because light skinned women look a little more exotic than darker skinned women. I'm like, yo, that is like the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's so disrespectful. Come on.
I don't see how it can be fixed. It's honestly like not even just in our community, this issue, like colorism. It's Chinese people with the lightning in the skin, they wear the umbrella so they don't get darker. Indian people, they bleach their skin, you know. So it's a lot like of people. From as Brittany was saying, the beginning,
darker,
the beginning of the whole colonialism, and you know, so everyone, those were the oppressors, and so if you're the lighter you were, you know, okay, you get more favor.
You have to be in the
field. This, that, and the third. So it's embedded in everyone.
All right. So we mentioned Hollywood a couple seconds ago. Let's talk about Lady Gaga. She revealed that she was pregnant at the age of 19 and she was sexually assaulted by a producer. Nell, how do you feel about this?
You know what? I would have never thought that Lady Gaga went through these things, but that's the beauty behind artists, right? They portray music, and a lot of times they are the canvases of the old songs that they sing about. I was really shocked to hear that she's been raped by her producer. He told her to take off her clothes, Then literally she dropped her off while she was pregnant in front of the parents' home, locked her in the studio for like 6 months. And she was like, she has the power, she has the money, she has the respect, but she was miserable. And that's just a true testament to how many people feel in Hollywood. So I was actually happy that she was vulnerable to speak on it, because many times she's like, yeah, I want to commit suicide. Like, I hate myself. And her being able to speak on a platform to talk about experience, kudos to Lady Gaga. And I hope that she can continue to recover, and her way of recovering is talking about it. So big ups to her. Like, much respect to her. I think I like her even more. After I seen, I was like, yeah, la la la. That's your back row, man. So I'm like, yes, I'm supporting you, Lady Gaga. I'm with you, girl.
So I was kind of confused about this story. So did this happen at the age of 19 to her, where like when she was starting her career, or did it already start? Like, how did that work? Because I wasn't too familiar with what she was saying.
They were saying this happened when she was 19 years old. Like when
she was trying.
Was she Lady Gaga at that point?
No. She was trying to break in.
I think that's what makes it worse, is like the industry paints this picture of like, if she'd came out and said something, her career would have been over.
Yes, right. And it would have.
She didn't reveal the producer's name.
And it would have.
Yeah, like I don't know if she revealed the producer's name. I didn't see that part, but just the fact that, it could have been one of them heavy hitting producers that is producing everybody, and they would have completely drowned her within that. So I think that's one part of just society, period, we got to change, is like the women being, when they're the victim, we put the blame on them. And but I do have she had to hold that for all those years.
Yeah, I do have a question in regards to that though, because if she was 19 trying to break in, chilling with a producer, even though that's her story about, hey, this producer did this to me, I'm not saying that she was down with it or anything in that room, but maybe she said, hey, what do I have to do? They had some sex, and it was like, all right, I'll put you on. Now, 20 something years later, this is her story by her saying, oh, I didn't want to do this. I was raped, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? And
but see, I think that's the point right there. But that's the point right there, too, where we have to stop trying to put the what ifs in there and just realize that the victim is telling us the story, and we need to take it for what it is. Instead of saying, yeah, she might have been 19. She might have been like, hey, I didn't say anything because she knew that this would hurt her.
But where were her parents at? Where was the parents at?
Look at, like, we praised Usher and stuff for his experiences that he had with P. Diddy and all of this. And now she comes out and says something about when she's 19, and people are like, where were your parents? So nobody wanted to say where was, this guy's parents when he was experiencing all these different things. But now when it's her, we want to say, where was her parents at? It should have been something that she should have never had to been quiet about it. We got to make it safe for women in general, just to be able to come forward and talk about their experience without blaming them.
To kind of go off of what you're saying, you got to understand the kind of industry that she's into. There's a lot of people that are into things that, there's going to be demands that they ask for, and oaths that people need to abide by in order to be successful. So I just think there's more to the story than what she's putting out there. And I noticed this trend happening a lot, even with the R. Kelly, with all these other people coming out, Bill Cosby, years and years later to say these things happen. So, you got to give kudos to people that's able to speak their truth. But see, I understand where you're coming from, where you're saying, you don't really know what the truth is. So you don't know
the truth, but
know.
Go ahead,
Brittany.
You know what?
Go ahead, Brittany.
I'm sorry. So, okay, T, let's say she was trying, right?
Yeah.
Let's say she was trying to get her career ahead. Let's say she was put into this situation. What happened to her? We're not talking about somebody who just had sex. This girl said she was raped. This girl then got pregnant, and then girl was held hostage. All of this. Does that warrant? So say I did walk into this thinking like, all right, maybe if something happened, maybe my career can get helped a little bit. Or maybe, maybe she was put into a situation where he put that pressure on her, like, yo, listen, if you don't do this, you know what I mean? We're not going to be able to take your career this place.
They
so even if that was the case, that doesn't make this okay. It doesn't.
Well,
make
no, it's not. But B, it's not about it.
She was 19. This is a 19-year-old girl. At the end of the day,
it's not about it being okay. But what I'm sick and tired of in Hollywood, or just in general, is that we got to figure out the definition of when people say rape. And we did a show, I think, in season 1 about consent and those type of things as well. Now, I just think that it's unfair that a woman can come on any platform and say, hey, I was raped, I was touched, and then it's like, okay, we got to go with that story. But what else happened where, like, how did you get in that predicament? You know what I mean? So when Daniel said, hey, T, we got to stop talking about the what ifs, it's like, I don't know about that. You know, because you do have to question, you do have to question certain things in regards to that.
I can't think of a predicament that you can get into, right? Even willingly, even knowingly and willingly, that you can get into where it can be okay to take it to that step to where I can perceive that it was uncomfortable. Obviously, it was an uncomfortable situation for her to come back years later and say, I was raped, right? This obviously, no matter what the case was, whether she said no, whether she kind of said no, maybe she pushed it back, no matter what, the situation happened where she felt uncomfortable enough years later to identify it as rape.
But Britt, can I ask you a question? So let's just say like 10 years ago, somebody that I messed around with, if she want to come back now and say, hey, Terrence raped me or he did this, when she voluntarily walked through my doors, had some sex, she? And hold on. She voluntarily walked through my doors, sat on my couch, like I always say, watch Netflix, pull down her pants and decide to have sex. And then 10 years after that, she's like, damn, like I really didn't want to do that. I'm going to label that as rape. Now, how can I argue that?
If it happened just like that, then yes.
That's how you argue.
Did it happen to where when she was at the house, did you kind of push it up on her? Did you kind of put your legs in between her legs to make her feel some kind of way? Was it pushed enough and she maybe gave in?
Right, but that's part of making some type of something when you're trying to get, like, listen, when people have sex, somebody got to do the first touch. Somebody got to like extend something out first.
There's a difference between you making the move and I want you to make the move and we keep it pushing versus you make the move and you can tell in my body language, you can tell in everything that I'm doing, I'm really not down with this. And I've been in situations like that where even dudes, when you telling a dude like, yo, I'm not, and your body language is not, I'm not giving you mixed signals now.
Okay, so then you get up and you leave. You get up and leave. If he didn't hit you,
Lord,
it's not that easy.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's going down the road.
You got to get up. You got, listen, I can't accept that. You got to think logical with this. I'm thinking logical.
At any point.
Yeah, but it's not always gonna be logical. It's not always gonna be logical. Just get up and leave because I mean, we've been there. Yes. I've been there where a girl be like, hey, stop. And then I'm like, well, I know it's a spot. So maybe if I get a spot, then we've been there as men. And that's basically, and that's what Brittany is saying. Like, she may have said, all right, I wasn't feeling it at first, but he know that, and then eventually it's like, all right, let's just do it and be done with it. And then they walk away from that not feeling comfortable. And we as men gotta look at it and say, hey, that's okay.
But D, so when you say, okay, they ended up doing something, then they walk away not feeling comfortable with it, is that considered to be rape?
Not necessarily rape. It may not necessarily be rape because it wasn't forced, but in her situation of what she's saying that it wasn't something that she even agreed to, or it was forced. It wasn't even consent nowhere even in. She didn't even give in. It just became something that was forced upon her. That's right.
Do we have a police report? Did she make anything about this? Back when she was 19, 20, did we hear anything about this at all? Did she tell her parents?
It's not like she's trying to get the person in trouble either. You know what I'm saying? She's not.
She got threatened. We don't know. That's the thing is like, so T, in other words, you want to have it where if somebody's going to make a statement about their experience, whether it's like rape, you want to have the other party there too, in order to determine
get their side. Yeah.
Well, I mean, sides. You should, right? Because if I blew up today or tomorrow and then I go on Good Morning America tomorrow and I'm like, hey, so this person raped me when I was like 22. You know, this female, she was doing this, she was doing that. People were like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. You know what I mean?
But that's something we gotta kill, like in the industry, because like even when Terry Crews came out and was talking about the guy who they was like, shut up, you a punk. Like, but it happened. And so you can't, just because he's a man doesn't mean that he was supposed to stand up and be that way. And that's what I'm saying. We got to stop coming after the victim, trying to make them feel like they shouldn't have felt the way that they felt, and really just accepting that they felt a certain way. Because I mean, we see it in, anything that she says she felt that way, then we have to take her feelings for what they are. Whether we can be like shrug it off or whatever, we can't do that. We got to start taking the victims at where they are at. Instead, we go after the victim trying to discredit their story.
Okay.
And she did say that like they threatened to burn her music. So they were like blackmailing her to do this. You know? So again, somebody who has power and you feel like that. Yeah, you know. And can I just say too, you could be in the act, kiss and touch and whatever, and then the person's like, you know what, I can't do this. Then you got to stop.
You
it
do
don't
have to
matter
stop.
what happened led up to that. You got to stop.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, clearly we're not going to agree on that, but
because I feel like you're thinking of everybody's situation. Every man acts how you act, right? Just because you are willing to stop, and if a girl comes off and you like, yo, I'm willing to let her go because I'm just not. That's how you are, and I feel like it may be hard for you to grasp that. Not every man acts like that. Some men could just really, you could be telling them like
they don't care,
and they don't.
That turns them on more.
So, okay.
And,
right. So if they don't care and you realize that that person is not respecting your boundaries, why don't you just stand up? Hold on.
Choke you,
slam
you,
it's not
all of that.
No, but listen, we have certain things in place in regards to the law and the system. If a guy hits you or he choke you out, like what you're saying, Charnetta, you can go to the cops. You can do all of these things to get him arrested, etc. Right?
But that hasn't even proved to be successful. We've had people go to the cops, and the cops have blamed the victim.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
What were you doing there?
You have to. So we've set up a society to where women don't feel comfortable going to say anything because oftentimes they're not believed. And then when they do get a chance to speak on it, it's like, well, why didn't you tell back then?
Right.
So look at the industry back then. I don't think Lady Gaga would have been who she is now if she had said something back then.
The thing is this: women are sometimes, they're courted, they're persuaded to have sex, and sometimes they do it, and they're like, "Damn, like, do I really want to do this?" But no, I don't want to sleep with him this quick. Like, I don't know. And when they do this shit, they're like, "Oh, he raped me. He did this. He did that." No, this is something that you wanted to do as well, right? Then now you want to change the narrative. If you decide to pull your pants down and then go to that next level, that's on you. That's on you. I'm just sick and tired of like always blaming the person who's like spitting the game and doing all this shit.
I just don't know.
I don't think that's fair.
I don't know many women who's out here claiming rape on good sexual experiences.
Ooh.
So if this is a great sexual experience and we both wanted this, I'm not out here claiming rape.
No, I agree with you. I don't see females really doing that, but you do have some cycles out there that will claim that they was raped for attention because some of them seek attention. They want to feel comfort and love.
But you got to look at the different types of rape too. There's more than just forcing somebody to have sex. You have in-house rape where your spouse is. There's so many different layers to it as well that we sometimes don't.
In-house rape. What is that?
About also.
Yeah.
So like for instance,
that means no. Just because you're married, you're not entitled.
So a lot of people feel like because they're in a relationship, if they ask for sex, they should get sex, and they try to take it, and that's not something that's cool. And that can be considered
so who
rape.
am I supposed to get the sex from if you don't want to do it?
If she like, I'm not today, babe, then it's not today, okay?
So who does the sex?
Who gonna give it up? So then when I want to go over here to Martha and you got a problem with that, like,
now why are you smashing the Martha in the first place?
I know, I was like,
this ball game. I feel like that's a touchy subject. That's a whole different ball game.
That's a whole right.
That's a whole. Because I'm a little bit with you T on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta give it up.
I'm a little bit with you on that.
So let's move on. Charnetta brought something to our attention about women wearing these bonnets in public. And it's acceptable. We're talking about women right now, right? They're on the hot seat. So and Chanel brings out the bonnet, the Chanel bonnet. There you go.
Chanel bonnet.
Now, talk to me. What's up?
First off, I mean, these bonnets be coming in handy because I be wearing a scarf. I try to wear a do-rag and them things be coming off the boarded. Anytime I have it wrapped up at nighttime, in the morning, it be like disappeared and gone.
What is that covering your eye?
Huh?
That's her hair.
Oh, her hair. Okay.
The bonnets come in handy. And I love me some bonnets. I don't know any sister that don't have a bonnet in their bedroom, in their
you all got the bonnet.
We all got the bonnets. I personally wouldn't
wear a
my
bonnet too, D?
Hell no, I just had to put it on for the show just to show y'all how dumb y'all look out here with these bonnets on.
There you go.
In public, it's not in public.
It's not.
Like, this is not an accessory.
Charnetta, please let them know, Charnetta, please.
This is not an accessory. Ladies, stop it. If you going somewhere and you got to go in somewhere quick and you didn't feel like doing your hair, I get it. But other than that, I be seeing y'all at the gas station. Y'all be shopping in Walmart. Y'all be in the mall. Y'all got it the same color as your outfit. Stop it. Y'all see how dumb this look on my head? This how some of y'all
why
look
does that bother you? But why does it bother if that Walmart
if you wear a bonnet in public,
with a bonnet on?
Listen, if you wear a bonnet in public, that's signifying to me that you're ghetto and ratchet. Simple as that.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad that it has to be like that. Because if you like wearing tattoos, if you got a teardrop on your eye, you just happen to like tattoos, and maybe you like to have your pants sagging. Does that make you a thug?
Listen, what is the bonnet for? What is the bonnet for?
The bonnet for me is like protecting my hair. Like, what happens if it's super hot outside and my hair frizz up? Like, the bonnet can actually.
So you can't put on a hat.
Dudes with do rags on too, though. If a dude wear a do rag out the crib, I'm like, bro, go take that shit off. Go take that off your head. Bro. You're not going nowhere.
But you guys don't get flack. But you guys don't get flack for wearing a do rag. But if a girl's wearing a bonnet or a scarf, it's like, you shouldn't be wearing. Like, you shouldn't wear that.
Well, the do-rag serves two purposes, though. It's not just to protect your hair. It's also to help you with, your waves getting started there. So a lot of people, that's why the guys don't get as much flack. But this meant for y'all when y'all lay down at night,
right?
And you put it on your head and you wake up in the morning, you can just, you pull it off and now you good to go. Your hair ain't messed up. Now, what at Walmart you got to protect your hair from?
Germs, people, it's COVID.
But at the gas station, do you gotta protect your hair?
You gotta have it covered.
Before COVID, Chanel. Before COVID, why did you do that?
Listen, I wear a bonnet. I do wear a bonnet. I do wear a bonnet when I go to sleep. Like, I don't wear it if I'm going out like that, to be honest with you. But if I have my bonnet, sometimes I don't even realize I have the bonnet on. Especially if I have to get up and run and get something and it's on, it's nothing intentional. But some females feel comfortable having a bonnet on their hair. It's just like if they was wearing a hat.
I'm not hitting nothing with a bonnet on at all. I'm like, take that shit off.
I almost wanted to wear the bonnet starter kit because you always got the bonnet, and then she normally got on like a t-shirt with some leggings or something on and some sandals. That's the bonnet starter kit right there. That's normally what y'all be wearing. And then y'all got it the same color as your outfit. When I see it the same color as your outfit, this was plain.
No, I can't stand on furry
slides on with the white socks.
No, you don't go out like that, do you?
No, I don't go out like that, but I do love my bonnets, and don't get me wrong. Like, there was a time if I have to like run to like a gas station or something real quick and I just happen to have it on, I'm not about to take it off. I'm about to get my gas and go back home. But if I'm going out, the thing that I don't like is when they're wearing bonnets at formal events. Like, don't be at your prom wearing the bonnet because it matches your satin dress and it matches your sneakers. Like, why are you wearing the bonnet in the first place? You don't need to do that.
Not an accessory. It's not an accessory.
Our family, I know from my family, and I'm sure for Brittany and for Charnetta, like, our parents taught us that, you're not supposed to wear your bonnet, because a lot of times the women will always have the roller sets in their hair. And you were not allowed to go outside with roller sets in your hair in the bathroom. And now people are just walking outside like they just wake up out of bed and just walking like it's nothing.
I really don't see white women wearing that. Can you explain why? Anybody?
I saw an article in like Vanity Fair or Vogue magazine a while ago, and a designer came out with like these gold bonnets, and white women, like, it was so acceptable, and people were like, oh my God, they're so beautiful, they're so this, and I got highly upset because it's like, why is it when we do certain stuff? And I agree, like, yes, it does look ghetto, it looks ratchet. Right. But why is it then you can turn around and put a label on it? And then, other cultures come in, and now it's acceptable. It's acceptable. And that's what I had. Like, even though I don't see many white people wearing it, when I saw that showed me like, all right, but when we do it, we're ratchet.
We're ratchet. That money if Kim Kardashian walk out with a bonnet.
It's okay.
It's okay. And everything with our culture, everything with a Black woman's culture, when it came to hair, having weaves, when it came to nails, eyelashes, all of that. It's when we do it, it's all ghetto, it's ratchet. But then you give it some time and let Kim K come and do it. Let them, turn around and rock it. And now it's fashion. And it's like, come on, like, enough.
Well, B, tell us about Shein, the company, because they're also stealing like the culture, right?
Yes. So Shan recently came out with a phone case, and it's a phone case of a Black man in handcuffs, but then also it's a chalk outline drawn around him.
Head wrong.
It's like, what are y'all doing? Like, just blatant in our face with it. Like, you don't
Who approved
care
that? Who approved that?
And so,
How?
of course,
How?
how?
Said that was art.
And they tried to say it was for
whatever.
Black Lives Matter.
No.
And they said it was for Michael
Black Lives
Brown.
Matter.
That's not how you pay homage for him. No, that's not how you do that.
From what I read, the artist, the artist is not a person of color, which I feel like is a whole other issue. Like, how does a person of color, a non-person of color, express the issues of a person of color? But that's a whole other issue. But there's a non-person of color, and they said that it was a representation of, and talking about police brutality and how, in the police's eyes, the moment a Black man is arrested, they're dead in their eyes. And so it was supposed to be connected. And granted, artwork is supposed to bring conversation.
Subjective.
It's supposed to spark conversation. It's supposed to talk, spark different things like that. And so, in one aspect of your goal was to try to talk about police brutality. That's one thing. But to put it on a phone case,
right,
where any person that does have a racist agenda can buy that phone case,
they're gonna buy,
interpret that into a negative way and use that as a joke, as a mockery. You missed the mark. You missed the mark.
Exactly.
In my eyes, yeah.
I see somebody white with their phone, I'm catching a charge. I'm just gonna put it out. If I'm standing next to you and you put that up to your ear and I see that artwork, it's going down.
My iPhone smash.
Yeah, like she and they and then one, they promote two Black cultures. So it's like a lot of us are the ones who shop and buy with them. So I'm tired of people using like Black trauma in order to sell merchandise. Like I'm so over that. The company's just doing it just to appease to us. No, if you don't do it to appease to us, do it because you actually care, and that's the culture of your company and what you want to do.
And if you want to and if you want to make some art for us, how about get some input? Because you don't know everything.
Right.
Get some Black input.
Simple.
Or if you wanted to do, Black Lives Matter stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. I think use a Black artist. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's plenty of Black artists out here that is doing art specifically for the movement. Utilize them because they would have got the point across the correct way. Do not go to a non-person of color for that.